trail riding, I think, is the rawest form of mountain biking. It's getting out into the unknown, exploring the wilderness and having a good time with your friends. Having said that, I've got some great top tips to hopefully enhance your trail riding experience. Before we even head out onto the trails, then I think the key to a successful trail ride is preparation. Now that could be everything from having the right amount of water and snacks to having the right tools with you in case anything goes wrong. So here's what I'd recommend. When you head out onto the trails and you're gonna go out for a long amount of time, you're definitely gonna need food and water. So being able to carry a water bottle on your bike, I think is essential, but if not, a backpack or a hip pack that can with like a bladder in it is gonna be the next best thing. Also being able to take snacks, so loading up your pockets full of snacks as well, just to make sure you're going. Anything over sort of, I'd say 15, 20 miles, you're definitely gonna wanna start fueling up to keep you going, because otherwise you're gonna hit the wall and you're not gonna be able to complete the ride. The next essentials are tools. Now we don't wanna go into the middle of nowhere and get stuck, bike breaks, whatever, you get a puncture and you can't fix it. You gotta be self-sustainable. Is that the right word, sustainable? I think it is. So because of that, if it is gonna be a long ride, I do recommend some kind of pack to carry stuff in. So I'm gonna head out today with my Camelback repack, and it's got everything in it. It's got a multi-tool, I've got pump in here. Look, it's sunny out here in Phoenix. I don't wanna get burnt head, so I've got sun cream, there's even a shock pump, amongst other bits, spare tubes and things like that in there. Plus I can carry 1.5 liters of water in it, as well as the bottle on my bike. Because it's hot conditions out here, it's mid-20s at the moment, which for us Brits, that's pretty warm. So more water, I've got snacks in the front of it. It just means that I can take what's necessary to get me out of trouble. But a few of the key things are, if you are taking a multi-tool, a chain breaker is gonna be really useful. A spare tube, patches, CO2, and obviously a CO2 inflator, I think are all, well, and a pump, bare minimums. Let's talk about route planning when it comes to trail riding. Now, trail riding, I think, is going out for a nice big ride. Whatever's a good distance for yourself. Obviously, it changes for all of us, but it's exploring, right? It's just being out in the unknown, or even just being in the known is still great fun when you're with friends. But there's some things when it comes to planning your route that are crucial. So first up, planning for water and food stops if needed. If you're going out for a really long time, then you're gonna need the right provisions. So that means packing. We'll get onto that in a little bit, but plan for food and water stops, or if there are places that you can get it en route. Now, when it comes to the actual planning of a new route, if you are in a new area like I am here, I can see Phoenix in the background. I'm on South Mountain, but I don't really know 100% where I'm going, shall we say. Using sort of modern technology can be really helpful. Apps, maps, if you want to go old school, and local knowledge. Asking around if you see local riders, what trails are good, what trails are bad, what to avoid maybe, is sort of invaluable knowledge, because they're going to know the areas as best as possible. And then from there, you can start to plot it on an app and then sync that to your device to hopefully navigate your way. Or like I said, go old school. Take a piece of paper, take a map, and then you can plot your way on that. And that way you can really maximize and make the most of all these incredible areas that our bikes allow us to go to. Let's talk tech. I'm not talking GMBN tech, I'm talking tech. You know, the kind of tech that you would take when you're going on a tech ride. That was confusing. But I'm talking about sort of technology. I always think this is a bit of a 50-50 subject for a lot of people, because in mountain biking, I know a lot of people like to just be free, they like to be out there and disconnected from the world because it's their escape. And I certainly feel like that sometimes. However, tech can also be your friend. Technology can really help with a ride. So sort of prolonging a ride, you know, on a long ride, I might use my Garmin head unit here to keep an eye on my vitals, as it were, my heart rate, my power, you know, using a power meter even, just so I know the energy and the expenditure and the effort that I'm actually putting out accurately. It means I can maybe sort of pace my ride and go for further, if you like, you know, and you can find that kind of tech anywhere in a watch on your phone. But it's not just that, it comes back to the safety aspect. Tech can be great for keeping you safe. If you go into the arse end of nowhere and you're on your own, that's amazing, that's great fun, but what if you get in trouble? Well, you need to get help, don't you? You need to call someone, so that's where your phone might come into play, or Garmin has what's called Live Track, this system whereby people can see where you are and when, or it's got sort of crash notifications, an incident detection on it. If you have a sudden crash, it suddenly stops, it'll send out a beacon to your emergency contacts and they'll know exactly where you are. Sometimes I even use it on WhatsApp. I use live location to broadcast to the missus and she'll know where I'm riding. Using things like this can prolong a ride, it can keep you safe, and harping back before, it can help you plan those rides as well. So there's definitely a place for it. Don't take any unnecessary risks. This is something I've learned the hard way over the years. When out trail riding, out for a long time, regardless of solo or with friends, pushing yourself unnecessarily, especially on unknown trails, is just not worth it. Remember, these rides are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be a good crack. You want to go out for a nice bit of exploration. So go in and hard charging on every section, especially if you're riding it blind, just isn't worth the risk. Linking some of the points I've made in this video together, when you're planning your route, plan for any unexpected sort of unknown eventualities. Add in that little bit of time just in case you do have a bit of a moment where things go wrong. You know, you might have a mechanical, you might have an injury, you might get lost. Adding in additional time for those kinds of things is worth its weight in gold, I think. It can really be a bit of a get out of jail free card, because if you plan a ride so tight that you think, right, I'm gonna ride from this point and I'm gonna be back half hour before it gets dark, that's loads of time. It ain't. Like, something goes wrong and that little half hour gap before darkness and you're not prepared for darkness, well, that's when things can get pretty serious pretty quickly. So just adding in a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of bonus time to do things just in case anything goes wrong. Worst case scenario, hey, you might even see a cafe and want to just pull over, then that's well worth doing. And last but by no means least, don't forget, trail riding should be fun. Whether you're out solo or in a group, it's all about having a laugh, sharing these experiences and going to new places, as I said, or shedding light on old places with some good times ahead with some friends. So just remember, don't take it too seriously and always enjoy the ride. Try not to get caught up in like sort of the rat race of trying to push on or getting your phone out for Insta clips all the time. We're all guilty of it, myself included, but sometimes it just detracts from the fun side of a good old trail ride. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are there any other top tips you have for trail riding? I'm always open to hearing them because they're always fascinating to know what you guys and girls think. But for me, for now, I'm going to carry on this lovely ride in this nice landscape. I'll catch you next time.